welcome to the 4th of April 2023. My name is Cyril Aloysius, and I'm saying a big thank you to you for joining me on another interesting episode of the newspaper review here on TAV TV. Mr. Victor Sioku is the person once again to look at the papers with me here for today. Mr. Victor, you are welcome.
Thank you. Happy April. This is our first time, I think, this April.
Yes, so.
Yeah, and did anybody April fool you? Maybe this time around people did not really April fool that much, or what?
If I'm to just take a move away from politics right now, say yes, Liverpool April fooled me because when they scored first against Man City, I said, oh, thank God. And then finally they said April Fools, and Man City came back to wipe them out of the game. So yes, Liverpool scored and said April Fools to its fans, and it was not a funny one because they ended up losing 4-1. But was it a surprise to many? I don't think so, because Liverpool has been in a very shambolic form this season. But let's see what happens next. They play Chelsea next. Chelsea, who are currently without a manager. Let's see if that spirit of, let's say, potism has left them against Liverpool today. I think, by 8 p.m. today.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll start first today by looking at the Vanguard newspaper, where we have interesting headlines. In page 5, we have the boldest headline in Vanguard. This one says, Return of bandits. Return of bandits. Gunmen terrorize Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bayelsa, Adamawa. Gunmen terrorize Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bayelsa, and Adamawa. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard. And on page 6, police, DSS, storm palace of Igbo leader in Lagos for clues. Ezendi Igbo appears in handcuffs. More of that headline is on page 6. And on page 8, we have pro-Tinubu supporters to mobilize 20 million Nigerians against interim government. Pro-Tinubu supporters to mobilize 20 million Nigerians against interim government. That story is on page 8 of the Vanguard. Over now to page 35. This one says, Nigerian media inaugurates National Complaints Commission. Nigerian media inaugurates a National Complaints Commission. That's on page 35. And over now to the world of sports on page 31. This one says NFF Malls Wildrooms sack. NFF Malls Wildrooms sack as Amegbemi is tipped to take over. That's on page 31. Over now to health. 10,000 cervical cancer deaths in Nigeria unacceptable. That's according to scientists on page 20. On page 36, I beg your pardon. Says 10,000 cervical cancer deaths in Nigeria unacceptable according to scientists. And on page 8 again, we have ING plots. Conclude presidential petitions before May 29th. Agbakuba tells tribunal. He says conclude tribunal petitions before May 29th. Agbakuba tells tribunal. That story is on page 8. And still on page 8, unions back 2-year tenure extension for Naseni EVC by president. Over now to page 14. This one says Benue government secures 84 billion naira debt cancellation from federal government. That story is on page 14. And on page 12, Delta APC crisis deepens as party expels Omar Agege. Delta APC crisis deepens as party expels Omar Agege. That story is on page 12 of the Vanguard. On page 9, leadership position in NAS being bought. Ndume claims leadership position in NAS being bought. Ndume claims on page 9. On page 13 says Kaduna Gober, PDP lawmakers elect. Others vow to reclaim governorship mandate. Kaduna Gober, PDP lawmakers elect. Others vow to reclaim governorship mandate. That story is on page 13. Okay, that's the much we can take in the Vanguard for today. Mr. Victor, please, I would like to get your reaction to this particular headline here on page 5. It says, Return of bandits, gunmen terrorize Niger, Kaduna, Kogi, Bayelsa, and Adamawa. Please react to this.
Okay, it's up in there. You mentioned the notorious spots where bandits attack. They are back again, and in their numbers, and killings have started. It was like it was ceasefire during the elections, and now things have become so bad that people have started leaving their place of abode to the bushes. Okay, so one now will ask, what then happened? How were these bandits able to just stay on the silence and wait for the elections to end? What then happened? Some persons might be like, could it be the government and the people sending out these bandits? Some people might say. Some people might say, oh, could it be the politicians that are the ones sending out these? For me right now, personally thinking, I think it's a tough one to call right now, because you just begin to wonder what is happening. And it is also in a country right now that is being heated up. The politics is being heated up, that if you make some kind of utterances right now, you might just be going down. Okay. Well, my prayer, at this point in time, I think I need to behave as the common Nigerian out there, that we just have to put things in the hands of God to help. Because right now, to be very frank with you, our police force have not shown us that they are competent enough. Okay, they haven't shown us that, because look at what happened during the election, and I can tell you for free that they are not just about getting those culprits. If you check out in the news the kind of arrests that are being made right now, you find out that it is, will I say, anti-political. It is not those politicians that caused mayhem and caused so much rage on the people, but where they have shifted their attention is totally against or opposite what Nigerians are clamoring for. Well, I'll keep it right there. You mentioned about the APC.
So are you in any way insinuating that the police are right now acting as a weapon for these politicians to carry out their evil intentions?
Cyril, like I said, some questions we need to answer you very tactically. Okay? Reason, because a whole lot is happening right now.
Because it's actually more frustrating when you realize that these oppressors are the minority. Yes, the oppressors are the minority. These bandits, in quotes, are not as much as the people they are after going out to kill and all of that. And it now leaves us wondering if Nigeria has really gotten to that point where, you know, every man should just be for himself, and if possibly take up arms and try to defend himself. Because like you said, the police are not really up to the task at the moment. They are not really doing exactly what they should be doing, which is protecting lives and properties. Obviously, they cannot do the job alone. But personally, from what we are seeing, I think it has opened to that point where the common Nigerian needs to open his or her eyes to, you know, securing his or herself. Learn some self-defense, martial art skills, if possible. Equip yourself with some weapons, if possible, so that when the alarm bell rings, you're not caught napping. I don't know, just my thoughts though.
Which all these statements you've made just reminded me of an artist, Portable. That
Portable that says he's a baboon that lives in the zoo. Whatever says he's a baboon that lives in the zoo.
You said it all. So it might just be what is happening. Yes, we have bamboos, we have doves, we have all manner of animals in the zoo right now. Okay, so different opinions, different things are happening. Oh my God! And serious. I will leave it to God. I will leave it to God to come down and take care of his people.
Mr. Victor, if we keep leaving these things to God, don't you think we might just get into extinction very soon? Because believe it or not,
you mean nothing will be in the zoo?
I'm telling you, obviously, because if you look at it,
are you in the zoo?
Mr. Victor, this is our country. This is our country. We have no other country. If we travel out from here to another place, another country, we are going to be strangers there no matter what we do, no matter how long we live there. But this is the only place that we call home. That is more reason why we need to take up responsibilities for it and ensure that this place becomes as safe as possible. This is our abode. So it's just like saying, okay, because of armed robbers that are terrorizing a particular environment, and then a person like me, I have a house that I built there with my family. So I should now, my family now pack out and go and start. If it's for a while, it's a different thing, okay? For safety's sake for a while. But to say leave entirely, no. God will not come down from heaven and do what man can do for himself, which is a fact. So when it comes to good governance, when it comes to achieving security, a peaceful environment, a peaceful lifestyle, all these things are achievable by man. And for us to keep saying, oh, we have to wait until, oh, let's leave it to God. Honestly, I feel like that is, it's like you're waiting in vain, sort of, because it will never happen.
So as big as Nigeria, yes, we are saying, I will leave it to God. But do you know that even in our small clusters, just like in the APC that I wanted to mention, they are now even leaving things to God. Because what just happened in the APC, that the Deputy Senate President was fired from the APC in his state. Okay? You made mention of that. So I want to make some commentary about that because of I'm from Delta State, so I might just be biased with the Delta news and Abia news on this show. Okay, so Agege, the Deputy Senate President, the current Deputy Senate President, who went out to vie for governorship role in his state, Delta State, and unfortunately for him, he did not win. The PDP sheriff won, and they were now more like infighting in the APC in Delta State. So what then happened? Some persons came out to say that Agege did not support Tinubu, and for that reason he did anti-party, and for that reason they expelled him. But the other faction, there is now a faction in Delta State too. Although that faction, the other faction, say that there is no faction. You know how they do it. So the other faction now say that CEO Agege was expelled by people that they don't recognize, that they don't know where they are coming from. Okay? Then they now made, the other faction now made comment that they will leave the thing in the hands of God. So that is to also tell you, it's not just about banditry. It comes down to our local politics, that we don't even, the police has made us not to deal with our issues. People now leave those issues, and our judiciary too, they are told to now leave those issues, and they now go to God and tell God, please come and help us, because we don't have any help. So that's, I think that answers your question about that. Okay,
so speaking about Agege being expelled for anti-party practices, I want to ask one question before I draw the curtain on this program, on this particular subject. Is Agege the first person and only person to have done anti-party practices?
No.
So what happens to the rest? I mean,
because it's been picked.
We know about other persons.
It's been picked. That's the same Nigeria. So when they pick one person that say, okay, I do not do anti-party, I do not anti-party, I leave it.
We are well aware of the anti-party practices of.
Yes.
You know the person.
Yes.
So why hasn't it been?
That is to tell you that we don't have strong institutions, strong political institutions in this country.
Then what are we doing? What are we doing?
Even the Labour Party has started suffering this palaver, and if they don't take I don't for the goods. If they don't take it
it's good for the gander,
that it might happen to them. It will happen to Labour Party, because at the end of the day we are still one Nigeria. That same score, that same Oburu that is hovering around us will find its way to Labour Party, and we have news like
all right, over now to the Daily Sun newspaper. Interesting headlines. This one, the boldest headline, Daily Sun says, NAS leadership tussle unsettles APC. NAS leadership tussle unsettles APC. That story is on page 6 of Daily Sun. On page 27, we have, we won't gag press, but make it work professionally. That's according to Ombudsman Chairman. We won't gag press, but make it work professionally. Ombudsman Chairman is saying on page 27. On page 28 of Daily Sun, we have unions back Naseni's EVC tenure extension by Buhari. That's on page 28. And still on page 28, Buhari, Tinubu, Uzodinma condole with Kalu over wife's death. Buhari, Tinubu, Uzodinma condole with Kalu over wife's death. That story is on page 28 as well. And over now, back to page 27. This one says APC PDP in bloody clash over inspection of INEC materials in Rivers. APC PDP in bloody clash over inspection of INEC materials in Rivers. That's the reason on page 27. On page 6, we have 447 suspected cholera cases reported in Cross River, Ebonyi, Aba, 3 others. Okay, that story is on page 6. And on page 26, we have Guild of Editors elects new president. Others, June. Guild of Editors elects new president. Others, June. That story is on page 26. Still on page 26, we have protesters ground INEC headquarters. 1 US, UK, others against promoting insurrection. Caution PDP, Labour Party over incitement, provocative utterances. That story is on page 26. And lastly here in the Daily Sun, we have on page 5. This one says, you can't decide Nigeria's sovereignty. Army chief tells IPOB. Other groups, you can't decide Nigeria's sovereignty. Army chief tells IPOB. Other groups. That story is on page 5 of the Daily Sun. Mr. Victor, please let me get your reaction to a story here on page 27. It says APC PDP in bloody clash over inspection of INEC materials in Rivers.
So, the group of persons that have refused to just leave it in the hands of God have come out to the street to protest.
Which personally I feel that's the way it should be.
But unfortunately for them, some of them were injured. There were terrible gunshots yesterday in Port Harcourt, especially that waterlines GRA axis. And some shops got the hit, some stray bullets did their thing. And the governorship candidate of the APC, Pastor Toyeko, made a statement that he was rough-handled, that he was punched, his clothes got torn from another source, and he was bamboozled by his own DSS people and was put into the car. That had it been that he was left out there for a while, that he might just be gone, that he might just be dead. Those are their testaments out there. But you now ask, what are the issues? What are the issues, Mr. Cyril? The PDP are protesting, the APC are protesting, even the Labour Party, in their few numbers, are protesting. So, what then happened? They now clashed at the INEC, near the INEC office along Aba Road.
With what's happening now, Mr. Victor, can you actually point a finger at INEC to say INEC is really the cause of all these problems?
Yes.
Okay.
They did not conduct the elections by the rules.
Okay. Which is actually leading to all of this now.
Exactly. Where we saw carnage happen, where we saw electoral violence, where we saw snatching of ballot boxes, those results were called. Then you now ask, whose fault? Will you blame it on police? Will you blame it on me? It is the INEC. It is the INEC.
But from the look of things, I don't think
there were results.
It's obvious that INEC doesn't seem to care about what is going on.
Siri, there were results just by Rumibo, not Rumibo, rather, Oboro Road. I was driving by the following day. If you see the heap of ballot papers that were scattered everywhere, I mean, I'm talking about 500 meters of ballot papers on the road. And those results were counted and were published. Counted in quotes and were published. And you say people should not be angry? And you say people should not protest? So
INEC right now doesn't seem to care, and from their body language so far, INEC are looking like a body that would actually go ahead to, you know, do the needful come May.
They do care.
You think so?
They do care. Why am I saying that? Because they've gone to get their own son, senior advocate of Nigeria, a number of them, to defend.
To defend what, actually, exactly?
To defend
the fact that
gross.
To defend the fact that they did not play by the rules, their own rules.
To defend their own gross irresponsibility. They did not take charge of the election, as far as I'm concerned. They did not take charge. And that is why we are having these issues upon issues here and there.
And again, I'm asking, can INEC, as a body, be stopped or be removed, whatever word it is.
I know it's so glaring that there will be reshuffling. There will be reshuffling, but you now ask, will the reshuffling help matters?
Maybe another independent body with a new different name or new different individuals in.
Who will be there? They're not Nigerians.
That's the problem.
Will you bring Oyibo?
See, Mr. Victor, before we actually have persons that would, occupy this body, this new body that I'm talking about, maybe there will be processes that this person should go through for screening, proper screening, to ensure that their personality, everything concerning them, their integrity is in check.
See, on a normal, what should happen after all this is that they should have a committee of inquiry to go out and get us details of what transpired during the election, and find that if you do not do your job very well, say that you are getting a sack or you get some punishment. Then if it requires you getting prosecuted and going to jail, you go to jail. So, but do we have such systems? The police are the ones that are supposed to have on their own independently to carry out investigations.
So why are they not doing it?
Ask me.
All right, Mr. Victor, we'll go on a break right now, and when we return, we'll take our last paper for the day and we'll call it a day. Please stay tuned.
Hey there, are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators, and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Still on the newspaper review, you are welcome back from that short break. Looking at the last paper for today, which is the This Day newspaper, we have more interesting headlines in the papers. This one says, Yahaya, Army will contain all threats to nation's sovereignty. That's Yahaya saying, says Army will contain all threats to nation's sovereignty. All right. This one here says, gunshots, violence disrupts APC, PDP's visit to INEC's office in Rivers. Gunshots, violence disrupt APC, PDP's visit to INEC office in Rivers. Right. Thugs attack opposition party secretariat. Tony Cole cries out, says his life in danger. Wow. And this one on page 10 here says Donald Trump arrives New York ahead of today's historic arraignment. Okay, that story is on page 10 of this day. And this one on page 5 says NCDMB performs groundbreaking for construction of $7.4 billion pipe manufacturing plant in Bayelsa. That story is on page 5 of this day. And lastly, in this day, we have Human Rights Commission cautions NBC over sanctioning of media houses. Human Rights Commission cautions NBC over sanctioning of media houses. Nigerian media owners unveil National Complaints Commission. All right, that's the much you can take on this day newspaper. Mr. Victor, please let me get your reaction to, yes, you're going out of Nigerian politics for now. I would like to get your reaction to this issue concerning Donald Trump arriving in New York ahead of today's historic arraignment. Yes, former president of America has an issue right now. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay, first of all, I will also want to bring it back to what is happening in the country. We were just talking about who will prosecute INEC, who will prosecute this, who will prosecute that. For a system that works, you don't need to ask those questions because they have systems that they will go out there and investigate, not minding who you are.
So are you saying in our system has been bought over?
We look at people now, we look at their faces now, we find out that this person is untouchable. Don't even investigate, don't open that file at all. It happens, okay? So if you see most of these politicians now that are going into power that have cases beforehand, those cases will be swept under the carpet and that will be the end of it. But in insane societies, they follow through. They look for evidences, and when they want to even take you to court, they are very, very sure not the EFCC. I think I need to also make this EFCC and the ICPC. They just get a case, they just pack everything and go to go. At the end of the day, they fail. They fail because of lack of preparedness, lack of proper deep investigations. That is why in this country they want to investigate you. Maybe somebody came and raided a compound, or maybe somebody in a compound, a TV is stolen. What will they do? They call out everybody there, take them to police station, carry kid, start fucking them. That is their own level of investigations in many cases. So in just a nutshell, yes, he will be arraigned in court today. Images will come out soon, and we'll share it here on TAF TV so that people will be abreast of what is happening over there in the United States of America. Okay, so what should I say? What bad do you think this would do to Donald Trump's image already as a
It might not do him bad. It might just be a propeller for him come the next election that they will be having. Okay, it might just be it might just be good news for him. Reason because if he wins, found innocent. If he wins, if he wins, come on, it will push up his name. And when even the CNN did a poll about do people support this arraignment, 60% of the person said yes and 40% said no. You find out, yes, one might say that 20% is a lot, but I wasn't even expecting such number that will say no. So just imagine if he wins, that will push him up the further, and he might use a sentiment and sympathy to win in more people and get more money, because yes, that is a system that works whereby people donate to your cause. Not in Nigeria, donations are not really the thing. They just find a way. Okay, you've been here, you are once a governor. Oh yeah, now you will have money, your state will have money. Oh yeah, come. They'll go pack your state funds and go and do politics. And what if he loses? If he loses, that would be deep for him. Okay. Deep for him. But he's a smart guy, mind you. They have other cases. What about during the time of fake university? He found this way and hushed and hasn't stopped them from going further with that case. What about taxes, where they say that he evaded taxes and all that? He found his way out of that. This time around, see, I will not be surprised, Mr. Siri, I will not be surprised if he comes out of this clean as the whistle. All right, let's keep our fingers crossed and see how it goes. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor, for your time with me on the program. Sir, and I wish you good luck tonight. Yes. Okay, thank you too to you, my wonderful viewers, for staying patient and faithful to your screen, because without you, this program will be possible. This is the end of the newspaper review for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do so. And after subscribing, also click your notification bell so you could get notified when we drop new videos. You can do well to follow us on our different social media platforms. Check us out on our YouTube. We're TAF TV on YouTube. On Instagram, we're TAF TV_NG. On Facebook and on Twitter, we're TAF TV. Thank you so much once again. It's a bye for now.